Our yoga practice is wonderful to help us kind of balance our constitution. So if we're feeling unwell in any way, whether it's a little bit of an illness or fatigue, or you're just a little stressed or overwhelmed by your life, of course, our yoga practice is this beautiful gift of restoring our well being. And so, if you are feeling a little flustered by the blustery day or by whatever is kind of turbulent in your own life, it can be really good to do a soothing practice, something that's a little bit more gentle, a little bit more nourishing on the inner level. So that's what we're going to do today is a practice that's a little slower, a little bit more kind of feeding the fluids in your body and moving the fluids in your body. So it's going to be restorative, but not a restorative yoga class. So there'll be some movement, but the goal here is to really try to cultivate an inner capacity to stimulate our healing capacities, our nourishing capacities that rejuvenate us for whatever is feeling depleted within you. So let's close our eyes and sit up straight and tall and have a moment to first just kind of come gather yourself. Drop your awareness down into the body. Can you feel where you are sitting in space? Maybe you're standing, maybe you're lying down. So, however, you're comfortable to begin your practice. Let's experience that sense of yielding. So, whatever's touching the floor, we get to drop in and let the earth receive us. And then from that place, we get to expand. So, feeling our roots and feeling our sense of space all at once. When you kind of allow yourself to orient your body in space and drop in, let's now find the breath. So, how is your breathing today? Have you noticed a breath yet today? Is this your first moment of inner awareness? Have you been outwardly focused for most of the day today so far? So, give yourself this opportunity to sense what's happening on the inside. Is your breath coming in easily, fully? Is there anything obstructing your breath? Maybe you have some congestion, or maybe you have some anxiety. Whatever might be interrupting a steady flow, see if you can notice. If it's available to you, start to lengthen your exhales out just a little bit more. So you feel this beautiful capacity to slow things down, to let the nervous system have some time to calm, to bring up that part of us that helps us rest and restore. There's this huge cascade of the interaction of our endocrine system and our nervous system when we give ourselves over to the parasympathetic drive. So, long exhales is a cue to the nervous system and the endocrine system that it's time to heal, it's time to rest, it's time to renew. See if it can help you calm, become a little more still in the mind. Relax the features in your face, all the ways you express. Find that blank slate. And then when you're ready, place the hands together and offer an intention. What is it that would be of benefit from some restoration in your mind, in your energy, in your body, your spirit? Can you accept a practice that is a little slower, a little more nourishing? Can you welcome listen to you. A deep sense of self-respect, kindness, self-love, self-care. And then relax the hands and let's come to lie down on your back. So finding supine, okay. And just notice what's available when you lie down. What shifts, what changes from a seated posture to a supine posture. Okay, and then let's stretch our arms and just come into some awakening. So stretch the left side, stretch the right side, and just enjoy a little opening in the body. All right. And let's go ahead and cactus the arms out. We're just going to do it very simple. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. And very simple, we're going to bring our forearms into touch and then inhale to open up to a cactus. Now, if your shoulders are a little vulnerable, you can make a different choice. And we're just going to add just a little bit of core into this. So inhale, open the chest, and as we exhale, we're going to lift the head up a little bit and crunch in, just very gentle. One more time. Open body, forearms come to touch, especially elbows if you can get them. And then turn this into a bigger starfish movement. Stretch your limbs wide. Don't curl in yet. Just wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Go a couple circles in each direction. So open up the edges of your body. And then take an inhale. Stretch your limbs out. And as you exhale, knees into the chest and rock a little bit. Swaying. Check in. How's your back today? Okay, keep your head on the floor for this original movement. And we're going to come into a more full starfish. So navel stretching out to your edges. When you exhale, pick up your head, curl in. Feel this sense of squeezing on the inner body, opening and then squeezing. Let's try one more. Expand your body wide. Exhale, draw things in. All right, roll over onto your side. We're not getting up just yet. We're going to stay down on the ground for a little bit longer. I want you to get 2 blankets if you have them. We're going to take 1 blanket and open it up to this fold. And we're going to roll it. And you do not have to roll it all the way. I would suggest maybe do half your blanket. So it's, kind of rolled like that. You can always try it like this, and then if you want more of a roll, you can roll more. If you want less of a roll, you can unwind. And then we're going to put this on our mat, and then we're going to get the next blanket and put it underneath your head. For those of you who have done the spinal rolling with me with the roll towel, this is going to be similar to that. The towel with the rubber bands on it, if you've done that with me. But this is just a little bit different. So a half rolled blanket or a full rolled blanket, whatever feels good to you. And we're going to start with putting that blanket underneath our upper shoulder blades. And the other blanket is for your head. Make sure you have, I should have said this in the beginning, make sure you have a lot of room up above your head because we're going to be moving in that direction with our body. So you want to have enough support for a little bit of movement of your spine or your whole body. Okay, so once you get settled, feet are flat on the ground, knees are bent. And let's bring our arms up and maybe stretch one shoulder up, fingers toward the sky, and then roll onto that shoulder and lift the other one up. Just kind of feel the movement of your shoulder blades a little bit. And then maybe just try a little bit of arms overhead and just kind of see where your range of motion in your shoulders is available to you today. And now when we do this, this is going to be a little different than the spinal rolling where we have our hands over our chest and then over our head and then we turn from side to side. We're going to do wherever you want your arms to be, you can let them be. And we're going to do a little bit of movement of kind of rocking on our feet, pushing off one foot to rock over a little bit toward the side and then roll to the other side. So the movement is going to be a little side rocking instead of top, bottom, crown, tail rocking. You can wrap your arms gently and easily holding your opposite shoulder. You can have your arms open. And then I suggest rolling right over onto your side, letting your armpit feel that blanket, and then rolling to the other side. All the while when we're doing this, I want you to think about your breath. There's so much availability when we get to know our three-dimensionality of our rib cage. So let the rocking go pretty far so you can roll over onto your side. And then you're going to use your feet to kind of gently push yourself upward toward the head so that you the blanket kind of gently moves down the back a little bit. And experiment as you find new places, as you move that bolster down, to have different positions with your arms. So let things be a lot less like rigid in the sense that now my arms are up, now my arms are over my head, now my arms are side. Just let your arms kind of fly where they want to be, and let the shoulder blades have some mobility. So we're getting rid of the stickiness in our rib cage here. Okay, so just rocking a little bit side to side, and slowly starting to push off your heels, so you slowly inch that bolster down your back as your body moves up toward the crown of your head. So every time you find a new spot, let this be very organic. You don't have to like stop and then move. Just kind of let your feet help you slither upward, and feel free to roll all the way onto your side, and kind of, you can even roll toward the front of your ribs a little bit. So feel the three-dimensionality of your rib cage. And this can feel really good, especially if you don't go too fast. Feel into the self-massage that you're giving yourself. If you find a spot that you're like, oh, that's super yummy, then hang out there for a little while and try not to have any rigid movement patterns. Everything's very fluid. Experiment with different places to put your arms. Okay. Try not to forget about the sides of your ribs. So we're rocking left and right, but really so that we're feeling the full the perimeter. We're not going onto the front of the body, but we're going from back to side. So you really feel that three-dimensional nature of your rib cage. How is your breath while you're doing this? And when you get down to the bottom ribs and you can kind of feel the diaphragm a little bit, see what it feels like. You can do any kind of little micro movements with your spine while you're here, maybe a little pelvic movement. Notice when you tuck your tail or arch your back a little bit, the change that happens in how your rib cage receives the blanket. Okay. And then when you get down a little bit lower, so when you get into the low back, be very mindful to not stay put. You just want to rock a little bit from side to side. You can bring one knee up toward the chest and rock a little bit from side to side, kind of pushing off the other foot, and then switch. So generally speaking, you don't want a big roll underneath your low back, but hopefully the blanket's pretty soft and not very high, where this actually feels good. Still rocking from side to side. You have a lot of important muscles, not a lot of them, but you have a couple really important muscles in your low back there. See if you can feel into that self massage. And as you kind of push off your feet to slither a little bit, feel free to move a little bit deeper down toward your sacrum. And maybe you're nowhere near where I am. Maybe you're still up in your shoulder blades, and that's fine too. This is just a practice of releasing tension and finding some self-massage and self-exploration. Such a beautiful way to nourish your body, to take time for a little self-massage. There's no goals, there's no direction, there's no expectation. When you get down to the sacrum, just notice what's here. Remember, we're rolling three-dimensionality, so get into those outer hips a little bit. See what's happening inside your breath. Where do your arms want to be now? Where's the natural tendency of your arms? And keep rocking off your feet so we kind of get to a little lower on the sacrum near your tailbone. Remember to rock over onto your sides. You might even feel this through some of those deep lateral rotating muscles in your underneath your glutes. Maybe you find all the way to your hip joint. So just see where you ended up. And then go ahead and remove the blanket. So lift your hips, unless you're not where I am. So, it's okay if you're still doing this, but remove the blanket underneath your pelvis for a moment and just feel into the body. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. And let's find some yielding, kind of move. We're still kind of following that flow of moving left and right. So you can yield into your left hand and left knee, and then yield into your right hand and right knee, soft elbow joints, and let the spine have any kind of movement that it wants to have. Try to be curious and self-selecting about where you go next. So instead of being directed by me, like now do this, let your body decide. You have a built-in, all of you are yogis, you have a built-in repertoire of knowledge of yoga postures. So just let your body decide what comes next. All right, and then find your way down into child's pose. Take the hips toward the heels. Walk your hands forward. See if you still want to have that kind of lefty righty rocking as you inch your hands forward on the mat. Relax your head. Walk the hands over to one side or the other, feeling the openness in your rib cage on the side body here. Relax your neck. Okay, inching over to the other side. Keep relaxing your neck. It's okay if your hips are high and they don't drop down real low. Just go where your body is available. And then come back onto all fours. Curl the toes under and lift your body up to dog pose. Bend your knees a whole lot. So almost like your thighs can touch your belly. Have a lot of deep bend, and then lift your sit bones from that deep bend. Push off your hands. Feel the yield, the push, and the reach. And see what it feels like. Maybe you want to bend one knee a little deeper and straighten the other and drop the heel down. Just find that same kind of rocking. You can move your hips a little bit. Just find some flow here in your dog pose. And maybe pick up one hand, place it back down. Pick up the other hand, place it back down. Feel where you're grounding into the earth. And then find a stillness within this pose. See what it feels like to find what's available in dog pose today, and then return to the awareness of your breath. All that rib cage work we did, breathe into the rib cage. All right, and then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Feel free to bend deeply so you can lay down on your thighs a little bit. Rock your hips, shake, and then keep your hips low as you rise up. Come up to stand. Shake out your hands. And then deep breath in, rise up, cactus, open the arms, and then release them back down. Okay, so let's just start with a little bit of shaking. Okay, you do not have to leave the floor. We're just kind of vibrating and bouncing through the body. Now, if you have a vulnerability anywhere, so like sometimes if you have a shoulder that's a little tweaky, having no tension in your shoulders can actually make your shoulder feel a little unstable. So if you, when you're rocking your body, if your shoulders feel weird, just hold your hands over your shoulders so that your shoulders are a little more supported. And same, if your low back feels a little vulnerable when you're doing this, a little bit of core support, just a little bit of core support so that you have some stability in the body, okay? And then if nothing's hurt, so if no joints are hurting, let things be kind of free. Okay, all right, and then shake out your arms. You can kind of move around in whatever way is good. You don't have to have so much rigidity, like be noodly in the body, just let things be easy, 3 dimensions. All right, and then pause here for a moment in Tadasana. Just notice how you feel. Root your feet down, yield, move through your spine. Notice if there's kind of like an inner movement, if there's a different kind of flow that's happening in your body from just muscular effort. Come up onto your tippy toes and then back onto your heels. Feel the bottom of your feet. And then take your legs a little bit wider apart, okay? And they don't have to be super wide, but you just want to have a good steady stance. And we're going to do some self-percussion. So you can scoop your hands, you can put fists, you can put some fists. So whatever feels good, whatever kind of pressure feels good along your chest. So start in the upper, right below your collarbones, and you can take one hand, you can do two at the same time, or separate them and just feel the vibration. You can hear it in my voice even. Feel the vibration in your ribs, in your lungs, and then go a little lower, see if you can feel into the bottom lungs. How's your breath? Okay, and now take your fists into the back kidneys area, feel the sides. Let your breath come in deeply. Now we're going to kind of move down the body. You can slap, or you can have you can take your fists like this, where you have like not a solid fist, but an open fist, and tap your body with the open fist, or hands, wherever feels nice. Go down one arm, go down the other arm. And go underneath. And then we're going to go down the outer legs. So bend your knees a little bit, get your legs wide, go down the outer legs. Try it with the open fists, where your knuckles are bent, but they're nice and loose. And then come up the inner legs. Let's do this a few times. Let your body receive. What are you feeling in your legs when you do this? Bend your knees. You're not bending from your back. Okay, come into your belly. Scooped hands or open fists, very gentle. We're gonna move from your right lower quadrant up to the right upper quadrant, cross, and then down the left side. Just go across your belly. You can do this with hands. You can just do it with slides. If it feels uncomfortable to tap your belly, just find what feels good. Now we're gonna come up to the face. So you can just rub your face. You can have some tapping with your fingers. Don't forget about your jaw. Go across your cheekbones. Think of your sinuses. Give them a little vibration. And then across the back of your skull, base of your skull. You can come up around your head. You can massage your head if you'd rather. You can pull on your ears, whatever you feel like doing. You can lift your chin and kind of tap your throat. Be very gentle. Don't go right on your trachea, but come on the sides. And then back to the lungs. One more time. Fists or slaps. Just kind of come into what's available. All right, and then bring your hands down. And close your eyes and just notice what you feel. Is there an inner vibration? Is there an inner waking? Something different than just moving your muscles? Can you feel your fluid body wake up, your lymph wake up? All right, inhale, reaching the arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath. Exhale, bend your knees deeply and fold forward. Step back with your left foot. Right foot is coming forward. Let's put our back knee down on the ground. Pad underneath it. And of course, if your knee doesn't like to be on the ground, you can do this with your knee up off the ground. Hands on blocks is helpful for the spine. And we're going to go back and forth between straightening the front leg and bending the front knee. So we're getting into some openness in the knee pits in the back leg, as well as into the hips, or the knee pit in the front leg and the hips in the back leg. Just kind of breathing your way into some openness and some closing. So, when we're trying to move fluids in our body and get that inner vibration going, opening and closing the pits of your body, your knees, your elbows, your fists opening and close, your chin dropping down and opening, your armpits opening and closing. These are really good for moving fluid in the body. All right, let's come to a lunge. Bring your back knee up off the ground and rise up. Reaching the arms to the sky. When we're ready, we're going to cactus open, and then we're going to push an imaginary wall away. Rise up. Push an imaginary wall. A little bit different movement here. Rise up with the arms, cactus the arms, and now close. Forearms come to touch. Stay in your lunge. I know it's tricky with balance to do a lot of movement. Make sure your lumbar spine is protected with your core. Okay, and then rise up again. Hands down. Walk your back foot forward. Bend deeply. Halfway lift. The spine is growing taller and longer. Exhale and melt. Step your right foot back, left foot comes forward, knee comes down onto the ground. Decide if this is a happy place for your back knee. You can always make a different adjustment and have your knee up like we often do. And when you're ready, breathe your way here. Everything comes with the breath. Okay, so we just did all that beautiful work to wake up your lungs, to have a little vibration, move things around in your lung tissue. So let's enjoy some good deep breaths as we bend and straighten the front knee. Can you feel the openness in your hip, the groin of your back leg, opening and closing? All right, and then steady yourself. Lift your knee off the ground, have your feet where you want them to be, and then rise up here. Breathing well. Maybe your arms aren't happy up. Wherever you are, open the chest. Okay, full range of motion if it's available. Elbows come wide, and then push an imaginary wall. Rise up. Stabilize your legs and your core so that the upper body movement has support. One more time. Find yourself hanging out up here, and then cactus the arms, and we'll move through this now. So rounding the back, forearms come to touch, tuck your chin, open, stabilize your lumbar spine with your core, open your chest, maybe even lift your head up if your balance supports that. All right, and then release your hands down, dog pose. Extend through the spine. Bend your knees, lift your femur bones up into the hips, find the deep length in your body. Yield, push, and reach. How's your breath? Breathe into those low ribs, breathe into the sides, find that three-dimensionality of your body again. Come forward, find a plank. Whenever you're ready, you can put your knees down and find the floor. Hands are next to your chest. Go ahead and roll the shoulders, rise up. Cobra pose, don't let it be huge, just enough. Notice if your back feels a little more free than it sometimes does for a first back bend with all the work we did with the rolling. And then release. This time, take your arms down at your sides. Palms are facing the floor. Spread open your palms. Take a deep breath in. Lift arms and legs off the ground to only go where your body can support. Neck stays long. Breathe into your diaphragm. Let your diaphragm move. All right, relax. Come up onto your hands and your knees and have any kind of self-selecting movement in your spine that feels really good. All right, now stay on all fours. We're going to pick our feet up, move them over to the left, and drop your hips down like a weird side angle child's pose, and then come on up. Spin your feet the other side. Drop down. Stay inside your breath pattern. First side again. Come on up. Second side again. right. Find your way to stand and grab a strap. So open up the strap. If you have a tie in it, let it go. So we want a nice open strap here. All right, we're going to stand on our strap, 2 feet on the strap. Okay, so Tadasana, we want our feet hip width apart, and we want enough, wrap of give on the strap so that when we come up to stand and open our chest, we have some tension on the strap. So walk down to create that. So whatever angles of grab that you need on the strap to find that. So we're going to bend our knees. So let me show you this from the side. Try not to do this. We're not rounding the back and then arching the back. We're not doing that. Okay. We're bending the knees, keeping a neutral spine, and then rising up. Okay. So see what it feels like to have a little bit of bend. And as you rise up, collarbones stretch broad, maybe turn the palms open. Make sure as you do this, you're stable so that when you open your chest with that tension on the strap, you're not buckling in the lumbar spine. You're stable. So feel the roots of your legs drop into the earth. Feel your thighs. You want to have a sense of grounding, a little bit of core so that when you find the open chest, the spine is supporting you. Find the exhale to melt. Find the inhale to open things up. And then once you're here in the upward, outward, expansive version, stay. Okay, and see what you might need a little adjustment on the strap to have a little more tension, a little less tension. Open across your collarbones, flip the palms open, breathe, reach your crown. Still stable, so drop your heels into the strap, reach your crown upward. Notice if your back, your lower back, is collapsing at all. Is your belly moving forward? See if you can integrate pubic bone toward navel. Find the fullness of your breath. Now pick up one ear and lift it toward the sky. Breathe into the neck, the top of the ribs. Come back to center. Pick up the other ear toward the sky. Breathe. Breathe into the side of your neck. You can kind of play around with where your chin ends up. And then come back to center one more time each side. Lift the ear. You can rock the chin up or down to find your favorite spots. Open the palms. Breathe into the space. Back to center one more time, the other side. A little tension on that strap. Drop your heels into the strap. Rise up through your spine. And then melt and fold. Slowly round your way down. Relax the arms, take the strap off, grab your elbows, and just sway side to side. Keep your left heel on the strap. Grab onto the strap again. Left heel on that strap, and step your right foot forward. So Virabhadrasana 1. And it's tricky, you gotta get it just right with the tension on the strap. So once again, we're not buckling in the lumbar spine. Stabilize, lean forward just a little bit so you can feel the work of pressing the strap into the ground and the rebound through your crown. Open the chest and then rise up. You can walk your fingers down the strap any bit you need. Open your heart. And then release. And walk your back foot forward. Take your right heel on the strap, whatever side you're going to do, switch sides. I think I might have had the wrong feet from what I was saying to you. All right, so second side in Virabhadrasana 1. Lean forward so you have that long spine. Press your heel into the strap, reach your crown. Feel the line across your collarbones. And as you rise up, try not to sink into your lumbar spine. Root to rise. Root the heel to rise up. Open the chest. Full breaths. Flip the palms open if you want. Okay. And then hands off the strap. Hands down onto the ground. Dog pose. You can just move the strap off your mat. Off to the side. Lengthen here. Breathe. Feel free to shake your hips. Bend a knee. Whatever feels nice. Come forward into a plank. All right, put your knees down onto the ground and come to lay down on your back. Finding your breath. All right. So we're going to take our hands behind our head like an old school sit up, like, what we used to do, feet on the floor. Now, usually when we do this, I tell you to relax your head in your palms and let there be a pillow. But we're going to do a slightly different thing to kind of open and close the armpits a little bit. So as we come up, I actually want you to bring your elbows toward each other. Be very mindful that you're not pulling on your head. You don't want to yank your head up. So still rest your head on the pillow, but your elbows compress as close as they can get toward each other, and then open your elbows out to the side as you come down. Couple times, still resting the head. Big breaths. All right, and then open up. Now we're going to do this to the side. So now you get to really rest on that pillow. So lift your torso up a little bit. Bottom tips of the shoulder blades are still on the ground. Your elbows can lift a little bit, but try to keep them open instead of tucking them toward each other. And now we're going to drop the left elbow toward the left hip and then stretch the right elbow open. Let that armpit open. Come back to center and switch sides. Right elbow comes down toward the right side body. Left elbow lifts up. So a little bit of a side bend. Feel your obliques. Make sure you're breathing as you go from side to side. We want to open the side body, open the armpit, and compress the other side. All right, and then relax. Melt yourself open. Find your breath. We're going to come into bridge pose. You can do this passively on a block or actively, depending on your body today. Rock up onto the shoulders, roll to the tops of the shoulders. All that work we did to open the collarbones, feel it here. Try not to compress the neck. Open the hands, palms facing toward the sky. Press the backs of your arms into the earth. Big diaphragmatic breath. Feel your belly move. Feel your ribs move. Feel your diaphragm move. And then melt and fold. Relax. Body down onto the ground. Windshield wiper your knees and your head. So as knees drop right, head turns left. Back up. Heading over to the other side. How's your breath? All right, and then relax. We're going to cross our right thigh over our left thigh. And you can either put your left arm on top of your right arm and hold your shoulders, or you can do eagle arms where you wrap your hands. So whatever is comfortable for your body. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, hug the elbows and knees toward each other. Pick up the head. Inhale, open, tap your foot. Exhale, close up. Inhale, open, tap the foot. Exhale. Next time you inhale, starfish open. Big, spacious body. Place your feet onto the ground. Neutral pose, arms at your sides. Breathe here a moment. Switch legs. So now our left leg's going to go on top of our right. And I think that's what I did opposite. So do the opposite. Ooh, now I can't tell him. But yeah, that's what I did opposite. So make sure you're doing the opposite. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chin up. Knees and elbows come to touch. Inhale, open. Compress the ribs as you exhale. Squeeze as you exhale. One more time. You can keep your head on the ground too if it's too much tension. And then open your body out. Big old starfish. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then just relax here for a moment. Okay, move everything out of the way. So if you have things on your sides, blankets, blocks, anything, just move everything out of the way so you have a lot of space. Okay, breathing well. And we're going to start in a starfish. And then we're going to bring our right elbow and right knee toward each other and then roll over onto that right side. Let the left side drape over. And inhale. Spread things out again. And then left elbow and left knee find each other. Bend them to the side and let the right side drape and roll over. Just going back and forth. Let this be very fluid. Breathe as you go. We're not picking ourselves up and rolling to the side. We are kind of slithering and letting the body open. Elbows and knee come toward each other and the other side of the body wraps around that. And then open up the way you came out, the way you go in. Let them just find that fluid nature. This is best done on a wood floor, but you're probably not on a wood floor. All right, and then relax. After you do your left side, relax and come to your body straight out. Deep breath in. Exhale and melt. Deep breath in. Exhale and melt. All right. Roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. Okay. Finding your breath. Okay, so this may not be available for everybody, so you're just gonna do either just child's pose and coming up, or we're gonna do the, someone once called this shoelace. There's not really a Sanskrit name for it, but we're gonna stretch our left foot back, curl your toes under, open up the back of the knee, breathe into crown tail length, push off, so feel the yield on the foot and then push off the foot and bring it up over your left knee and drop, or the right knee and drop it back. Okay, so we're lifting the knee up. Let me show you from the side. So we're stretching a foot back and then we're bringing the knee and crossing it over the leg and dropping back. Yield and then push and stretch that leg back. And then knee comes together. Switch sides. Okay, stretch the heel, push off, settle back like child's pose, and back up. And then knees together, and first side again. So if you can't do that, if your body just can't get that far into movement, then you're gonna come down to child's pose, and then up, open the chest, and then back to child's pose, and then up. So basically, no matter what you're doing, you're kind of opening and closing the groins and the knees and the armpits, these pits of the body that the subtlety of simple movements really help move a lot of fluid. So if there's stagnation in your body, if you need some get up and go, if you need this healing capacity of fluid movement, this is a great thing to do. Feel the yield and the push. How's your breath? Okay, and we're all going to end up in child's pose. Relax your head. Breathe well. Feel the breath touch the back rib cage. And then lift to dog pose when you're ready. Remember, be self-selecting. If there's a different posture that would feel better, you don't have to follow me. This is also the joy of doing yoga at home. Like in a yoga studio, sometimes a little strange to be doing something different from the rest of the class, but you're all by yourself in your house. Let your body move freely how it wants to. Okay, let's come to stand. So walk your feet forward, climb up. Just a couple of standing poses, nothing, no biggie here. We're gonna come with your right foot out, come into Parsva and open up through the side ribs. See if you can drop some weight into both feet, yield, push and reach, open your body up, find the breath, ground into 2 feet. If your energy's low, you can sit on a chair to do this. You can have your back against a wall. You can certainly come less deep. All right, and then we're going to come up with our torso and turn this into a side body stretch. Reverse your warrior. Open the ribs up. Breathe. Relax your neck. And then come up to stand. Release the arms and go to the second side. Bend your knee. Elbow on your knee. Uttanasana on the side. Ground your feet. Reach the arm overhead if your body is enjoying that today. If your shoulder wants a different choice, make a different choice. Collarbones broad. Remember that strap under the heel. Root to rise through the crown. Even weight in your feet. Yield into the earth and push off. Feel the reach through your spine. How's your breath? Open those side bodies up. Three-dimensionality of your ribs. Okay, ground down. Reach the arm up in the air. Find the breath. Reverse that warrior. Open the rib cage. And then relax your legs. Turn your feet forward. Bring your hands down onto the ground or blocks. So if you need some blocks underneath your hands, take some blocks wherever you want to be. Maybe your arms want to be forward like dog pose. Maybe your arms want to be under you. Soft bend in the knees. You don't have to bend deeply, but you just don't want to lock out. So a little micro bend. Enjoy the inversion. So you can even put your forearms on a block. Whatever feels really good. Let this pose be an inversion. So we're not going to do a headstand or a shoulder stand, but we can be here to let a lot of fluid drain back from our pelvis to our heart. So, the lymph movement, all of your lymph collects in right near your collarbones and returns back to your bloodstream there. So when you invert, you kind of give a little assist to the lymph that has to travel from your feet all the way to your collarbones. Breathe into the full rib cage. Relax your neck. Okay, heel toe your feet in. Come down onto the ground and sit in Virasana. So a block or maybe more than a block underneath your pelvis. You can come forward. Sometimes I put my head on the ground so I can stick my fingers behind my knee pits and kind of pull the calves down and a little out to create a little space in there. And if this is not comfortable for your knees, just keep stacking yourself higher until you have ease. So this is a great way to compress some of the lymph in your legs. Find your breath. So just like we did before with those collarbones, bro, we're not going to grab onto a strap or anything, but imagine all that space you created earlier across your chest. Have some three-dimensionality in the breath. Interlace your hands. Let's try the weird way. So put your fingers interlacing the way that's not as comfortable. Then press your palms forward and then lift up. If your shoulders don't go all the way up, just take them wherever they go along this pathway. Lengthen through your sides. And then relax your arms. Now you get to cross them the way you typically do. Press your palms up toward the sky. Try not to arch your back and drop your belly. See if you can straighten your spine to the support that you need. Ground into your sit bones. The neck is relaxed. And then open your arms. Now our arms come straight out to the sides. Push imaginary walls away. Maybe lift one ear. Maybe lift another ear. All right, and then relax. Shake out your hands. Pause here for a moment. Deep breathing in. Deep breathing out. We're going to come off of that block. Then you get to do a restorative pose of your choice. So if you want to keep with the theme of moving lymph like we've done a fair amount of, you can do leg up the wall pose with a blanket under your pelvis, or even higher than just one blanket under your pelvis. You can do Supta Baddha Konasana with support underneath your back. You can do a twist over a bolster. I'll show you a couple of variations. So here's the twist over a bolster. So if you have one leg straight and the other bent in Virasana, and you turn toward the bolster and lay down on it, that's one choice. Make sure you do both sides. If you want to do Supta Baddha Konasana, you can stack up a ramp with blocks or blankets or whatever you've got, and you can support underneath your outer hips with blankets or blocks. You can do heart bench, where you have one block higher and one block lower. The block lower is in between your shoulder blades, and the block higher is under your skull, and arms and legs can go wherever you want. And then, of course, you can do leg up the wall pose, like I said earlier. There's lots of choices for restorative postures. Sorry to make you choose your favorite flavor when you really want to have a 2 or 3 flavors. So just see if you can find something that's really nourishing for you right now. Whatever pose you're choosing, why? What do you love about this pose? What does it offer you? What kind of nourishment and healing does this pose provide? No matter what you're choosing, see if you can come into the breath. Once you get comfortable, and make sure you're comfortable. So make sure you have enough support where your limbs feel protected and supported. Make sure your head feels supported. You don't want to have any super strong, stretchy feeling or strengthening feeling here. You want to be in a nest of support so that your body can really drop into rest. All the work we've done to open the breath, feel that breath here. See if you can come into that space of 3-dimensionality, no matter, even if your back is on the floor or if your ribs are on the floor, the 3-dimensionality of the breath. Feel your yielding potential. What can drop? Give the cue to your nervous system, your endocrine system, your lymph system, your cardiovascular, all your systems, that you're signaling for rejuvenation. The body is amazing at adapting and healing if we give it the tools it needs. Feel the pranic flow of your breath, nice and steady, inviting energy in, releasing what no longer serves. You can transition into Shavasana at any moment that's right for you. Maybe this pose feels easy enough in the body where you want to stay. But if there's any desire to be super neutral in the body, find Shavasana. Support yourself. So blankets, pillows under your knees, a blanket over you if you're at all cold. Warmth is healing. Cold can be stressful, so let your body have deep ease with your temperature, with the textures that you're feeling, with the support that you're feeling. Remember to breathe well. As you're ready, let's first breathe again deeply, fully. Maybe a big stretch. And then for sure, just curl for a moment as you find any movement that feels right. Take the time to curl onto your side. Let your collarbones fold onto each other. Let your chin drop. Find that kind of deep softness in the underbelly of your body. Stay here for a breath or two as you find your way onto your side. Deep sense of protection and nourishing, gathering your practice to the inner self. And then when you're ready, take your time, come up to sit. Support yourself with a blanket or a block or a bolster or something under you. Nourish a big, beautiful breath. And as you're ready, once you are in a comfortable seat, bring your palms together at your heart. And bow deeply into your own inner healing. nourishment of your practice. And let's share this energy. Who in your life could use some nourishment? Just offer your energy. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I feel far away. Thank you, everyone. Blessings on the day. I hope you have a healing, healthy one.